to our recruiting segment. So we already hit on Andrew Marsh. As you know, we're looking forward to Andrew Marsh. The next big target is Jerome Miles. This is a serious target for Michigan. We are trying to make a move here. It's, in reality, it's closing time for Jerome Miles. So he was formerly committed to Ole Miss. He's a 6'3", 215 wide receiver who runs a 10.3 600 meter. He is faster than Phillip, the real Flash Wright. This is serious. So he will also be at barbecue at the Big House. And, we talked about previously about the commits who are going to be there. Carter Smith, Brady Hart, those guys, along with an Andrew Marsh, along with Jacob Washington and the other cornerstone players in the class, are going to be working overtime to see if they can get Jerome Miles to start leaning Michigan. This is a major target for Michigan. This is another top 50 type prospect. And this is another recruit where in the past Michigan would not be in the conversation, but now they are because they are now competitive in the NIL field. And not only that, they're selling the evolved playbook in early playing time, which will be available at Michigan. So, and on top of that, when you have a quarterback like Brady Hart who's going to be on campus, it's far easier to sell that we have the weapons to make that playbook become a reality. So this is a major target for Michigan. It's going to be all hands on deck. I'd argue, Andrew Marsh and Jerome Miles are going to get a lot of attention this weekend. And we'll see. After the weekend, we'll have updates and intel that leaks and things like that. And, we'll figure out what we can, we can get of it. But going into it, I'll say this. The interest between Michigan and Jerome Miles is mutual. He does like Michigan. The biggest hurdle for us with Jerome Miles is going to be proximity to home. So he's from Utah. Our biggest challengers, and Tim's going to like this, it is Utah. So Utah is our biggest challenger, but it's also USC. So USC is another challenger. And then a couple SEC schools are also trying to make their way into the conversation. But one of the reasons why he decommitted from Ole Miss was, one, proximity to home, and two, he wasn't a culture fit. He didn't feel like he fit into the culture. At Michigan, I do feel like he will fit into the culture. And I think we would all agree, especially our viewers, the Ole Miss culture and the Michigan culture are not equal cultures. They're different flavors. So, we'll see, man. Hopefully Michigan can knock it out of the park. Looking forward to hearing any updates on that coming out of the weekend. And then our other 2025 target to watch, and this is a big one, especially for B-Dub. B-Dub has been wanting another DB in the class, and here's our opportunity with Jaden Sanders. Jaden Sanders is a 4-star prospect. He's moving up the boards. He's actually a fast riser right now. This is also closing time for Michigan. This kid is looking to make a decision right after the barbecue. He was going to previously make his decision like a week or two before the barbecue. He has now pushed that to after the barbecue at the Big House. Michigan they got to close. And this is what I'll say. I have a lock on Jaden Sanders. I feel good about Jaden Sanders. We will see, we'll know very soon after barbecue at the Big House if Michigan was able to close. This is decision date. I think I don't know the exact date. I want to say it's August 4th or 2nd, but I don't know that for sure. I know it's going to be early August, right after the barbecue at the Big House. So we'll find out together, how that goes. And you got anything on that, John?
Oh, no, okay. I think you covered it. Somebody asked, who is this person talking? So I wanted to make sure that your tag was up here because that's TJ, our head recruiting guy. So that's why he knows a thing or two about this. But I will say about Jerome Miles specifically. I understand people are going to say, well, it's easy. It's not that hard to get separation in high school. But do you normally see that type of island level of separation? Because I don't. And I saw that in the film regularly with Jerome Miles. As you said, he's faster than Wright. So that'll do that.
He runs a 10.3 600 meter. Now, for anyone who's like, well, what does that even mean? Anything sub 11 is elite. It's elite. He's running 10.3. Okay, so we're talking extremely elite speed here. And by the time he gets to college, he could very well be in the 10.2s, maybe 10.1. Possibly, maybe in college he'll hit 10.1, which is getting close to Olympic level qualifying speed. So we're talking a serious burner here. Listen, it's one thing to burn kids in high school, which, by the way, if you're burning kids in high school, that means you're ready for the next level. But you got to remember this too. They're going to develop and grow year to year, and they're only going to get faster and stronger. This kid's not slowing down, this kid's serious. He's on the Philip Wright level in terms of just stupid fast. And he's even faster than Philip Wright, and Philip Wright is stupid fast. So, yeah, if we could land a Jerome Miles and Andrew Marsh and Jacob Washington and a Philip Wright, I'll tell you right now, that is a gigantic step in the right direction to evolving the playbook, because those are the type of players who can get you there.
Yeah, just a couple things. First of all, to your last point about Marsh, Myles, Wright, Washington, or do you think we could get all of them, or is this kind of an either or kind of situation?
No, I do think we can get all of them. I mean, the biggest hurdle for me, and this is like just me thinking about the dynamic of all the players. Jerome Miles plays the same position as Jacob Wright. So Jerome Miles, so right now, if our class is Jacob Washington, Andrew Marsh, and Philip Wright, we're good because they all play separate positions. Like, so Jacob Washington's an X, Philip Wright's a Y, and Andrew Marsh is a Z type. So there's no issue there. There's no overlapping of positions. But now if you add Andrew Marsh, would be Jerome Miles would be a fourth receiver to the class. Well, he does play X. Now, here's what's interesting is Jacob Washington's going to be at barbecue at the big house. So if there seems to be a mutual or accepting of roles, or just, if Jacob Washington is recruiting Jerome Miles because they want to be the most dynamic offense in college football, which, listen, you can go 4 wide. No one says you can't, right? So if they want to be an extremely high level, high potent offense, then maybe Jacob Washington's like, look, man, let's do this. We got Brady Hart, we got Carter Smith and Jaden Davis in the pipeline, getting ready to be the next quarterback after whoever is this year, right? So I don't know. We'll have to see if Jacob Washington has any issue with that, but he'd be the one. If there was one who'd have maybe a problem with the addition of a Jerome Miles, it would be, in my opinion, there's no intel here. There is no word that this is the case. I'm just assuming simply because it's the same position. I would think the Jacob Washington recruitment would be the one that would be possibly
overlapping. Yeah,
it'd be overlapping.
Okay. Super interesting stuff here, because that you're hinting at the idea that Michigan could change its identity from a 60+% run team to a more passing team in the future, potentially, right? So
I would say they would still be. So I use the example of the Detroit Lions, an offense that has an aggressive power run game, but has a potent air attack. That is what Michigan wants. They want a potent air attack with a power run game. They want to be balanced at both levels. They want to kill you with both attacks, right? So, because listen, you could try to take the run away, they'll kill you with the air. You want to take away the air, they'll kill you with the run game. Like that, it's really a double-edged sword, and you're not going to be able to defend it. And that's where Michigan, that's an overall complete offense is what that is. And Michigan is striving to do it. You can see it not only with their words. They're telling these recruits they're looking to evolve the playbook. They are literally telling the recruits, we want to open up the passing game. And you can also see it with the types of players we're getting. Andrew Olish, Brady Hart, Jacob Washington, Philip Wright. These kids are burners. These are high athletic players. Andrew Marsh is no different, nor is Jerome Miles.
Yeah, I mean, it's just fantastic news. I was listening to a different podcast from Notre Dame, and they were, or the host there was kind of lamenting not being able to get wide receivers, and kind of speculating that, we're in the North, we can't get wide receivers, or something to that effect. I might be paraphrasing a little bit. I don't see that at all. I mean, Michigan has had great wide receivers in the past. The composition of the team, might not be conducive to that, in terms of the way they won last year, 100%, but that does not mean that the next couple years could be different, right? They definitely could. So Alabama actually went from a very high passing ratio to a more running ratio last year, to suit the talent that they had on the field, right? So
speaking of Alabama initially was a power run offense, and then they evolved into a heavy passing air attack. So and then they have now gone to more of a more run heavy offense recently with Jalen Milroe. But yeah, I mean, listen, Michigan can make the same evolution, and I guarantee, I'm gonna tell you right now, Kirk Campbell and Sherrone Moore want to be a more balanced, potent air attack offense. They want that dual, that dual threat offense that defenses literally cannot shut down.
So YouTube member Keegan is saying what we said on the Georgia Standard clip that you can watch.
Yeah.
You would evolve into what Georgia is, and nobody's asking Michigan to turn into an air raid. No one's asking Michigan to turn into Ohio State even. But to get to like a 47% pass percent, or at least a little higher, and just make it a little more balanced, it seems like that evolution is going to take a year or two. But you can see that with the recruiting, that's the intention.
Yeah, no, the intention is without question to be more aggressive through the air. The playmakers they are getting are even last class with Brady Prescorn. You're getting high level athletic weapons to evolve the offense. It's what you're getting. So, and then you see it with the quarterbacks. Listen, we're going to talk about this in the future targets. The quarterbacks that we're hitting on right now, and we know, Carter Smith's mechanics and all of that, but Brady Hart's no joke. Like, this kid's going to be a 5-star talent. He's Trevor Lawrence Jr. And like, we now coined that because we said it before Clemson did, and Clemson gave Brady Hart the same pitch when he went on their visit. They said they see him as the next Trevor Lawrence of the program. We said that before his visit was with Clemson. So, yeah, I mean, there's no question that Michigan is looking to take it to the next level.
Yeah, it's true. And so a couple of YouTube member. So we are officially at the point, believe it or not, folks, where we're at the 30-day mark for people, which means you can do a special post without needing the super chat. If you've been a member for a month, you can do a highlighted member post every month. So the Bull just did his. And he heard that DJ Sanders won't make it to the barbecue due to family vacation. Maybe we move on.
Yeah, no. No, he's not going to make it to the barbecue, but the goal is to have him visit for the Texas game. So DJ Sanders is a defensive tackle position. He's our only target right now on the board for defensive line. Major player, major target. He's from Texas. Right now, Texas is probably the leader. So if you're going to have him come for a game, it's when he comes to the big house and Michigan beats Texas. So that's going to be the game to watch. They're definitely going to try and have him come up for that. That seems to be the target, and we'll see from there. I mean, listen, they're not going to move on because here's why. We have 16 commits in the class. There's about 8 to 9 spots even open. So listen, their resources are not being wasted trying to get this kid. And plus, let's also look at our defensive line. It's already a high-level defensive line with Nate Marshall, Jalen Williams, Bobby Kanka, and Julius Holly. So they're already all in the fold. It doesn't hurt to try and land one more elite talent.
Absolutely. And we do have one more super chat before we get back to the 2026 targets at the barbecue. But Justin dropped a 2 for us. Thank you. So who does Utah have at quarterback after Cam Rising? So there's Cam Rising, there's Brandon Rose, there's Isaac Wilson, but now there's also transfer Sam Horde, or I don't know how you pronounce that last name, but he was a Washington quarterback previously, and he decided to transfer to Utah. So,
John, your ability to know the depth chart of Utah is just amazing. I just want to say that.
Listen, here's the thing about Utah. They're not an aggressive air attack. So, like, there's an opportunity here, man. Like, there's a real opportunity for Michigan to make a move, in my opinion. And I really think Michigan, if they hit it out of the park this weekend, I think Michigan can make a serious run for Jerome Miles. I really do.